Good evening and thanks for joining us. The federal government's goal of reducing the debt means it was a no-frills budget for 2014. That's especially true for local government. But while local politicians didn't expect there to be much in this budget, officials are still waiting to see the money from the previous year's budget.
The federal budget didn't offer much to local government by way of perks, but there were several comments from Federal Finance Minister Jim Flaherty about balancing the budget by 2015.
So this budget certainly, it's not about handing out a bunch of goodies for people. The reality is the government is trying to hold the line on their costs and make sure that we are actually balanced. So municipalities that were looking for a windfall certainly weren't going to find it in the budget. We were told not to expect anything new, and the reality is there's some key things that they're focusing on that I think are critical.
Mr. Flaherty has been very clear in stating that until there's a surplus, there's no extra money for anything. So I would expect that we'll see a change in that approach for next year. He's promised a little balanced budget for next year, so I'm assuming at that point we'll see some extra money coming in for municipalities. Looking forward to that.
What the 2014 budget lacks, however, for municipal government is infrastructure spending, aside from roads, bridges and ports. However, local government is still waiting to hear the final numbers on several funds announced in last year's budget. Two of those are the Indexed Gas Tax Fund and the Building Canada Fund.
One of the good things for municipalities coming out of the federal budget was the fact that they've committed to the indexing of the federal gas tax fund, so we're going to see an extra 2% of that revenue coming into the city. So that's very good news for us. The piece we're waiting for is around the Build Canada Fund. We haven't seen the actual numbers around that. There's a commitment to have a Build Canada Fund, which will allow us to target some key infrastructure projects.
The Building Canada Fund will be getting rolled out this year. We just don't know when. We're waiting for the final parameters and details. It's billions of dollars over a 10-year plan for municipalities to help them address different infrastructure issues, but we don't know what those parameters are yet. So will it only be about roads and water and sewer, or will there be other things attached to it? We have to wait and see.
The federal government has set aside $32 billion for the indexed gas tax and $14 billion for the Building Canada Fund. Cheryl Jan, CKPG News.